Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 5. Tonight, an Alberta police force, the new sheriff's service the province says will not replace the RCMP. Progressive Conservative comeback, the group trying to revive an old provincial political party. And their big break, a new dance studio helping learners let loose.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
The province is moving forward with its own police force. Premier Danielle Smith says it will eventually be called the Alberta Sheriff's Police Service and will complement the RCMP and other police services, not replace them. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti joins us live with more on this story this evening. So, Miriam, if it's not replacing police or RCMP, what will this new service be doing?
Well, Public Safety and Emergency Services Minister Mike Ellis says the service will improve safety and close gaps, especially in rural communities. He says when Albertans call 911, they expect someone to show up regardless of their uniform.
I have heard horror stories right across rural Alberta when it comes to shortages within detachments. I've spoken to First Nations, Métis communities who have complained about their current contract service provider and the lack of police presence in their communities. With that being said, we need to be ready for the future of policing in Alberta.
The current RCMP police service agreement with provinces and territories expires in 2032. Ellis says it would be negligent on his part to not explore alternative options to RCMP. Smith says more than 80% of Albertans are currently served by municipal police, not the RCMP. CTV's public safety analyst Chris Lewis says there's more questions than answers.
If the RCMP don't have enough officers, for example, to cover a zone on a particular night or weekend, do they call the sheriff department and say, okay, could you guys look after it? Who notifies them? How do they report on it? What are they trained to do? Because traditionally they do court security and they do traffic enforcement.
Ellis says current vacancy rates for the RCMP are at about 20% in Alberta. Smith says recruiting for the new service won't be a challenge as many applicants want to stay local instead of being deployed by RCMP. Hundreds are already training to move into new roles, and there's no exact date of when boots will hit the ground. And the IAPS will be based in Calgary with Chief Sat Parhar as the lead. He has more than 25 years of police service, including as a deputy chief with the Calgary Police Service. Matt?
All right, Miriam Valdez-Carletti live in studio tonight. Thank you. Two independent MLAs want to revive Alberta's old Progressive Conservative Party. The UCP booted Peter Guthrie and Scott Sinclair from caucus earlier this year for pushing back against the government. The PCs were in power in Alberta for 44 years before the NDP won in 2015. Sinclair says the two-party system has become too divisive. They want support from Albertans who feel they don't have a political home. A man in Leduc has been charged with child luring. Police believe there may be more victims. Alberta law enforcement response teams arrested 49-year-old Campbell Ferguson last week. He's facing 27 charges, including making child pornography. Police allege Ferguson was using Snapchat to lure victims to meet in person to perform sexual acts. The investigation started in April after a teenage girl confided in a counselor. Alert says investigators have identified 6 victims so far. It says it has yet to identify people in some of the images and videos found on seized electronic devices. The city will charge drivers less this winter if they fail to move their car during a parking ban. It's also expecting to ticket and tow more people, though. The city is reducing the cost of a ticket for failing to move from $250 to $150. If you pay the ticket within a week, the cost goes down to $100. City Council is also paying for more tow trucks to accompany cleaning crews this winter. The mayor says the city needs to balance the inconvenience with the reality that roads need to be cleared.
Having vehicles parked when our plows are there, when our sweepers are out there, they do create inefficiencies, and the street doesn't look clean either.
Councillors say the city also needs to do a better job of communicating when parking bans take effect. $100,000 to pay for the changes is coming from the council contingency fund. Edmonton City councillors are expecting to get another earful tomorrow about infill. After a full day of public hearings Monday, more than 100 people have registered to speak on the topic at City Hall tomorrow. Infill advocates say the city needs to encourage density. That looks good. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
A central neighborhood with bus routes and local businesses, Ritchie is already a hotspot for skinny homes. Even the school has been redone recently with an infill aesthetic. But ever since new zoning rules kicked in 18 months ago, a different kind of infill is popping up.
It looks like a regular home, like a single-family home, but yet it's housing 6 families. I'm one of them.
Sam Rad believes this is the future of multi-unit infill. He lives in one of 2 garage suites, sharing the property and amenities like a sauna with the 4 tenants in the main building. He was at City Hall Monday as Edmontonians voiced some infill support and a lot of concern.
I think it boiled down to don't build a massive 40-foot wall next to my house.
Infill advocates say builds like this and the nearby 8-plex demonstrate it can be done in a way that blends in.
Council needs to be laser focused on how do we build more homes in the places that people want to live, not on reducing the amount of homes that we can build in the places that people want to live.
Councillor and mayoral candidate Tim Cardmell has called for a pause on mid-block infill until more public consultation can be done. But Monday evening, a city lawyer said doing so would violate provincial law.
I think Part 2, Mr. Mayor, would have the effect of contravening the Municipal Government Act, and so likely would be out of order.
I just want to be really clear that it was not legal that found it out of order. It was not an illegal motion. It had the potential of legal challenges.
Council will debate some changes to infill rules Thursday to do with building size, space between buildings, and maximum units allowed mid-block. Before council can vote, the public will have its say. More than 100 people have signed up to speak. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Alberta Health Services is warning people about potential measles exposures at the Grey Nuns Hospital. AHS says an infectious person was at the hospital between 8:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. last Wednesday through Saturday. They were also at the Grey Nuns between 3:50 and 7 a.m. on Sunday. The exposure warnings come as another case of the measles was recorded in the Edmonton zone. That brings the total number of cases here to 10 since the beginning of the outbreak. The Edmonton case is one of 9 new cases across Alberta. There are now 1,169 cases in Alberta. School's out and many neighborhood playgrounds are full. The busier they are, the higher the risk for a concussion. CTV's Sasha Petramala has more on what to watch out for.
1, 2, 3. Summer is in full swing at this local Twilliger playground. These kids are carefree, but their parents are close by and aware of concussion risks.
I'm always worried, even for other kids, I'm worried.
I'm usually on my child like a hawk.
At 5:06 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time Wednesday, Environment Canada has issued a tornado warning for south-central Alberta. Extra care and attention should be exercised in and around the following localities: Wolf Lake, Cynthia, and Brazeau Dam. Environment Canada meteorologists are tracking a severe thunderstorm that is possibly producing a tornado. Damaging winds, large hail and locally intense rainfall are also possible. Take cover immediately if threatening weather approaches. Please consult local media for more information.
Together with what happened on a playground.
AHS says to look out for lingering headaches and changes in behavior, including how your child plays, eats, or sleeps. If you are not sure, seek professional help.
Parents can make sure that they're not saying, oh, well, we'll just wait and see. Get the assessment. Be sure one way or the other.
Playing safely does not mean sacrificing fun.
I want everyone to be able to engage and be able to engage safely.
Just be very hands-on with what they're doing, right?
Sasha Petramala, CTV News, Edmonton.
Josh, with school out and the weather the way it has been lately, no doubt lots of kids out on the playground today.
Yeah, scorcher of a day today. We're at 32 degrees in downtown Edmonton for a daytime high 31 right now as temperatures have dropped a bit. It's started to get really active off to the west and southwest of the city. All kinds of severe weather advisories. We'll get to that in a moment. 17 degrees this morning. You see 23, the average daytime high. 9 degrees warmer than that today, although still doesn't look like it was the hottest day so far this year. May 29th, we hit 33 degrees, and nowhere even close to a record for today, 37 degrees, the record high for July 2nd. Here's what it looks like outside in Edmonton right now. Had some sunshine through the first half of the day. That's the view looking west now as things have started to turn stormy, and we do have some severe thunderstorm watches and warnings in effect, as well as a tornado watch off to the west of the Edmonton area. You can see all of these storms still out of the Edmonton area, but they are tracking northeast towards Edmonton. Oh, and that now in the red zones here, these are severe thunderstorm warnings. The main threats off these, large hail, as well as potentially some damaging wind gusts. In the gray zone, that's a tornado watch potential with these severe thunderstorms, as we're seeing a little bit of rotation off some of them, potential to turn into a tornado. And that black zone there now, just off to the west southwest of Drayton Valley, that is a tornado warning. So there's no eyes on this as of right now, but based on what we're seeing on radar, Environment and Climate Change Canada has felt the need to issue a tornado warning for that cell right there. So if you are just upstream of this, if you're northwest of Drayton Valley in the Seba Beach area or just west, find shelter now. Doesn't mean for sure there's a tornado on the ground as of right now, but this could be potentially a dangerous situation. We'll have to keep an eye on that storm right there as well, south of Innisfail. At least some really large hail coming off of that. Here in Edmonton, we've got a couple hours before these storms roll in, but the potential is there as we are under severe thunderstorm watch for us to see some severe weather before the night's done. Looks like it'll be early to mid-evening. Then we'll get some clearing overnight, partly cloudy to start the day tomorrow. A lot cooler tomorrow with the chance of some scattered showers in the afternoon. More on that tornado warning and the rest of the severe weather in just a few minutes.
All right, Josh, thanks very much. Coming up next on CTV News, oil change, the new faces and departing players on the Edmonton Oilers roster.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to participate in the Battle of Alberta again.
Programming brought to you by Federated Co-ops. Find your summer sweepstakes. Unlock your chances to win at your local co-op. Brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A former member of the Calgary Flames is joining the other side of a fierce hockey rivalry.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to participate in the Battle of Alberta again, obviously. I think this was just a great fit for me, and obviously Edmonton has, a great team, right? So I just want to come in here and play my game and just kind of help the team whatever way possible to win and, hopefully get them over the finish line this year.
Forward Andrew Mangiapane signed a 2-year deal with the Oilers worth $3.6 million a season. The 29-year-old scored 14 goals with the Washington Capitals last season after spending 7 seasons with the Calgary Flames. The Oilers also signed former Edmonton Oil King Curtis Lazar to a 1-year deal worth $775,000. He had 2 goals in 48 games with the New Jersey Devils last season. A defenseman with the Edmonton Oil Kings is one step closer to reaching his goal of playing in the NHL. CTV's Merrick DeCash spoke with the only member of the Oil Kings selected in this year's draft.
2-on-1, shorthanded, Miller to the trailer, Fiddler, scores!
Blake Fiddler spent 2 full seasons in Edmonton patrolling the blue line for the Oil Kings. Over the weekend, the 17-year-old was drafted by the Seattle Kraken.
To finally get picked and have a team that trusts in you and believes in you is pretty special.
He was drafted in the 2nd round, 36th overall. Seattle traded with Philadelphia, moving up 2 spots to make sure Fiddler was still on the board.
Obviously, we've drafted a lot of forwards over the last couple of years, but to get a player of Blake's pedigree, the size, the skating ability, it was a situation where we felt we wanted to move up and grab that.
The 6'4", 209-pound blue liner was the captain of Team USA at the Under-18 Hlinka Gretzky Cup tournament, and he's coming off a stellar season, having led the Oil Kings in points among defensemen with 36. At the moment, he's in the middle of his first NHL development camp.
I didn't know too much about Seattle, but We went to, the Space Needle or whatever yesterday, and we got to go see downtown, and we're going to the Seahawks stadium today, and those facilities here are unreal.
His name may sound familiar to hockey fans. His father, Vernon, played 15 seasons in the NHL, most notably for
At 5:15 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time Wednesday, Environment Canada has updated a tornado warning for north central and south central Alberta. Extra care and attention should be exercised. The following localities are included in the warning: Wolf Lake, Cynthia, Brazeau Dam, Drayton Valley, Breton, Alder Flats and Winfield. Environment Canada meteorologists are tracking a severe...
Thousands of people packed the Alberta Legislature grounds for Canada Day celebrations. Visitors enjoyed plenty of music and entertainment. Many people were taking advantage of the new water fountains at the Ledge to cool down. This was one of the many different afternoon celebrations for families around the city and the Edmonton area on Canada Day.
It was 28 degrees yesterday.
It was 32 today. It feels like it just keeps getting warmer. A nice day out there, but the potential for some severe weather here this evening.
Yeah, and those storms are going to usher in a much cooler couple of days. We'll be back closer to 20 instead of 30 for daytime highs over the next couple of days. There's the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace fixed right, it's free. 31 degrees after hitting a high of 32 earlier today. In temperatures in mid to high 20s here in east central and northeastern Alberta. Grand Prairie with some storms in the area. You're at 19. Severe thunderstorm warnings northeast of Grand Prairie, south of Grand Prairie in the Grand Cache region, and then south of Red Deer. We've got a pretty intense thunderstorm. This is what we've been keeping an eye on, though, especially that storm cell right there just off to the northwest of Drayton Valley. Tornado warning in effect for that region. There it is there. You can see there is a little bit of rotation with these storms, and so we don't have any confirmation that there is a tornado as of right now, but given what we're seeing with the rotation with this, Environment Climate Change Canada has issued that warning. It looks like if you're in Drayton Valley, with this moving off to the northeast, I think, especially if you're south of Drayton Valley, you're okay. It's this area right here that needs to take shelter right now and for the next hour or so. South of Red Deer, you've got some severe thunderstorms passing through the QE2. Those are dropping some heavy rain and some really sizable hail. Looks like that's going to stay south of the Red Deer region, and then off into northwestern Alberta, you have some scattered thunderstorms, most of them non-severe, but a few here off to the east-southeast of Grand Prairie do have the potential to turn severe. Now, those severe thunderstorms around Drayton Valley will miss the Edmonton area. They'll slide off to the northwest of the city, but there's another little cluster of storms just southwest of us that somewhere between about 6 and 8 p.m. might roll through the Edmonton region. As of right now, we're under a severe thunderstorm watch. Again, watch means potential. Once there's a warning in effect, it means it's happening or it's imminent. So we'll see what happens with those storms and whether or not they strengthen as they approach the Edmonton area. But as of right now, as we're still an hour or 3 away from these storms hitting the city, if you have any loose items in your backyard, you don't want those thrown around in the wind. So start securing things and being prepared for these storms if they do roll through the city. By the time we get to about 9, 10 o'clock tonight, all the really active weather will be out of the Edmonton region. There's a slight chance early tomorrow morning. This is 4 a.m. for maybe another shower. I think the best chance tomorrow is going to come early afternoon between Edmonton and Red Deer. You might see some scattered showers. Maybe a thunderstorm. I think for the most part, this is going to be showers as it slides through. Now, the big upper ridge that brought the heat yesterday and today, that's crashing off to the southeast. That's what's setting the stage for all this severe weather through this evening. In behind that, once the ridge collapses, temperatures tomorrow morning will start out in the 10 to 15 degree range for most areas. But look at these daytime highs way down from today and yesterday. You're in the low 20s in the northeast, mid to high teens across the northwest. Yeah, southern, especially southeastern Alberta, you probably still see some heat in Medicine Hat. But Red Deer gets knocked down to about 21. And here in Edmonton, after a 32 degree day today, just 21 and a little breezy tomorrow. So we'll keep an eye out for that risk of thunderstorms early this evening. 14 degrees and partly cloudy tomorrow morning. Chance of scattered showers tomorrow early in the afternoon. Highs will stay right around 20 through Friday, Saturday. There's another warm up on the way for next week. Right back close to 30, it looks like, by Tuesday. We'll show you the 10 dates tonight at 6.
All right, Josh, thank you. Green Shacks across Edmonton are providing free entertainment to neighborhoods all summer long. Throughout July and August, Green Shacks will host a variety of family-friendly performances and live concerts. The Edmonton Arts Council hopes these events will inspire young people through cultural expression and art. Performers include the Brass Tactics, Métis Jigging, and Caribbean Dance and Games.
So anytime we can inspire the youth and get them into music or any kind of, arts is big on what we do.
The live shows will happen 5 days a week at 11 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. at different Green Shack locations around the city. When we return, Break It Down, a new dance studio helping amateur breakdancers find their footing.
At first I was overwhelmed, wow, these guys are so good at this. I wonder if I'll ever get good at this.
CTV News at 5 continues.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Edmonton's newest dance studio is breaking barriers. New Roots Breaking Studio is a dedicated spot for breakdancers. As CTV's Nara Manisa shows us, it's a safe space for breakers to be themselves.
Hunter Olson just learned about breakdancing a few months ago. Now the 12-year-old is letting loose on the dance floor.
I'm a different person in the studio. I'm not me, really. I'm B-girl bounty hunter, so I'm a dancer and I'm confident.
Also new to breakdancing is 14-year-old Ben Tower. The two are getting lessons at the New Roots Breaking Studios in South Edmonton.
At first I was overwhelmed, wow, these guys are so good at this. I wonder if I'll ever get good at this. I feel that every day I'm getting closer and closer to reaching that goal of being one of the big guys,
The studio opened in April. The owner says he created this spot because breakdancing in public isn't always welcomed.
We just need a little open space for us to dance, but then, unfortunately, we always get kicked out. So having this space is really a blessing for all of us that want to continue and also start.
Breakdance involves using your entire body, from the quick foot movements to the arms helping defy gravity.
At first, when you see breaking, you're like, that's insane. How am I supposed to execute that? But I think it just starts with that first step of showing up.
It's the closest thing to being a superhero, because not every day you see someone doing all these crazy moves. You can see the wave, but you won't see someone 15 seconds on one arm.
Breakdancing started in the 70s. It found its biggest audience yet, making its debut at the 2024 Summer Olympics. Canada's Phil Wizard won the men's gold medal.
I'm kind of shy at school and not super out there, so representing Canada would make a super boost for me.
Uplifting even when she's upside down. Nara Manisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
That's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Woodman. CTV News continues right now.